Hello, hello. Charles Handler here, IO psychologist, assessment expert, and skills based hiring expert. Skills based hiring, awesome idea. In principle and theory, amazing. In execution, it's a little bit lacking, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. But without the right equipment and the right approach, you're going nowhere. You're driving a car with square wheels. And how do you fix that? Interdisciplinary collaboration, learning from others and changing our practices. So I've learned a lot from the Education Design Lab and the Skills Validation Network. These are folks that are doing awesome work. I've attended some webinars and really have followed what they're doing very closely. And they're coming from the world of education, which also has a validation component and also looks at skills, but maybe not quite as connected with the world of work. And I'm working and they're working to connect these things so that we can really do it right. And this is what it takes, right? I'm going to talk about that briefly. The first thing is we're really talking about the exact same thing when we talk about validation of skills, right? There's only really one way to do it, no matter what context you're doing it in. And the first key piece is you have to define what it is you're looking for. This is where I think principally a lot of current efforts really fall short. They fall short in the fact we don't really define skills in an objective way that supports measurement. A lot of talent intelligence tools, they hit you with a lot of skills, but they may not define and operationalize those skills. Then you have to choose a method or a methodology of measurement. You have to measure those skills in a reliable way, in a way that is relevant. If you're not, again, you're missing the boat. You're missing the picture. You're driving a car with square wheels. Nobody wants to do that, not even Fred Flintstone. His wheels are round. All right. And you've got to understand context. You've got to understand what level is this skill needed. We don't want a mismatch there. And how is the skill used on the job? So this is exactly what we do in the world of work. This is exactly what we do in the world of education, but we're doing it differently, right? Validation method, evidence. You need to collect evidence. You need to have an evaluation of that evidence. That gives you validation. Again, this is a pretty similar approach, but as you take a look, and this is really something that I feel pretty strongly about. So I attended a great webinar. I've attended many actually from the Skills Validation Network, and they showed this slide. And this was a real eye-opener for me. And this is really what led me to want to talk about this today. The world of education, as you can see, this is all the stuff that goes into validation, all the data and all the information. You have a long compendium of evidence of skills. You actually have helping people be aware that they even have a skill. And then you have peers and teachers, early career activities. All these things are tracked. All your data around these skills come to life and grow. But when we get into the world of work, we're looking at a very narrow slice of this. We're not looking at the big picture. We're seeing assessments and some other pieces of it, but without the holistic view, without the long-term view over time, we're only seeing a little bit. And when you're trying to predict who is going to do a good job in a particular position at work and who has the skills that it's going to take, you want as much evidence as possible, right? You want a trail of evidence, but we only have this narrow window in the world of work. And this is where we really need to start thinking about bringing work and education together and think about defining and validating skills in the same way, really on a continuum. That's a big challenge for sure. But hey, we've got AI now. We've got the desire. We can make it happen, right? So just a quick summary here. We have a shared foundation of skills between the world of work and the world of education, a shared actual understanding of what validation means. But there's a huge disconnect here because educational data has a lot of dynamic pieces. It grows, it collects. Work data, not so much, not so much. Very narrow view, right? So the result is we're missing opportunities. We are absolutely missing opportunities. We need to work together to be able to understand validation from both viewpoints, bring it together to make better decisions and help people have better careers and companies benefit more from that.